I don't know if you all have heard or not, but Danganronpa 2 is getting a new reboot titled Danganronpa 2x2, which features the main game, but also a whole new scenario with new killers and new victims, which could potentially lead us to a new Danganronpa 1 and V3 in that same format. And I just did my short or like a little reaction of it because I watched the Nintendo Direct. And well, if you want to hear my reaction, you can go freaking watch that. But we're gonna go ahead and sit down right now and just talk about some things that maybe I want to see, or maybe things that I'm kind of curious about, or how things will play out, just yada yada yada, predictions and other stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and dive straight in. There will be spoilers for Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair in the video, so if you haven't played or watched it, I suggest you click off now, but if you don't care about spoilers or have already seen it, then continue on. One thing I know for a fact is that the foundation of Danganronpa 2 is going to be the same. So everyone's going to be their exact self. Like, for instance, Nagito will still be his insane, crazy, batshit self. And like everyone else, like I said, will be their original selves. At least for the first chapter. Then others will get developed. Whether that be in good ways or bad ways. Only time will tell. We could also see some unseen executions, because everyone actually has an execution described in the Dangan wiki, but obviously not all of them are actually shown. And we can also get some new free time events, because with the OG Dangan 2 being bundled in with this new scenario, I highly doubt they would actually just use the same free time events for characters, so we can definitely expect some of those. And then not to mention, apparently there's going to be new tricks involved with this remake, so you never know, maybe stuff like the Despair Disease or Twilight Syndrome might not even be in this game. Other characters will get to shine and get developed, which specifically, Hiyoko, that's gonna make me so happy, because she could actually get development. Obviously, maybe not in the same way, because my hero may not die, but they'll still be close like in the original, so maybe my hero can help her develop that way and try to get closer to the rest of the cast or something, I don't know. Speaking of my hero, she may not die, or at least not in the same way, because as I mentioned, new tricks, so Twilight Murder Syndrome might not even be a thing. And that could also mean Natsuki might not have, well, maybe she might, well, I don't know if she'd actually get retconned from dying, but maybe she might have died another way, or maybe someone else can get blamed for Twilight Syndrome, or I don't know how that could honestly factor out, but maybe my hero just won't die. And if she does, maybe not in that same fashion, you know what I mean? On the flip side though, Fuyuhiko may not be Mr. Character Development, as we all know, and as I like to call him, because he is Mr. Character Development himself, but he may not be the same, because Peko may not actually be forced to kill, my hero, or even kill somebody. So we could actually see Fuyuhiko revert back to his old ways, aka being Mr. Foul-Mouthed, isolated, baby gangster, as, he was. Hajime will still obviously be Izuru Kamakura, because as I've said, the foundation for Dangan 2 is obviously going to be the same. So that means we're obviously going to have Monokuma still be, the main mastermind. But a question does rise. What does this mean for Monomi? Because maybe Monokuma could actually maybe somehow control her or something? I'm not entirely sure. I'm thinking maybe Monomi might actually turn out to be a bad guy in this scenario. Maybe it could potentially happen, or maybe she could still be the same old Monomi we all know and love. Who knows? Byakuya, Ultimate Imposter obviously, will probably still die, just to throw us in a loop and have us, it'll twist us, because, oh my god, wait, Byakuya's dead again? But like, at the same time, it may not be from Teru, it could honestly be from someone entirely different. And then freaking, one thing I do want to mention, the freaking tropes, like, for instance, chapter 4 with the big buff dude dying. I hope Nekomaru doesn't die, but if he does die, don't do it in chapter 4, please. That also begs the question, will Junko actually appear in this game? Or will she just not appear at all? Maybe Izuru Kamakura could be the actual mastermind this time around, because I know one thing that actually is like bad, because even, shoot, right now, me, at the time of recording, me and my boy Prime Sheem is actually talking about stuff that we may want to see and stuff like changes and whatnot. So he brought up a good point. How like reoccurring villains in like story games isn't necessarily that good, because they become like too predictable and whatnot, and they kind of ruin, like sometimes they can ruin like the suspense and I can't even get my thoughts straight. They can just kind of ruin the experience, for a lack of a better term. So maybe Junko might not even be like an actual character in this like that. So you never know. Something else I wonder is if the despair counterparts will play a part in the game, and if so, how will they do it? Because you know the despair disease might not actually even be a thing in this remake. So, and you know, with the despair disease actually being what brought out Mikan's remnant form, how would the remnant forms actually be, you know, actually used in the game if they are used in the game? Which, speaking back to Mikan, you know, because how she was actually, you know, like I said, despair disease, yada yada yada. But like, no, because I kind of hope Mikan actually lives and actually gets like some development. So I'm hoping that she lives and that she actually gets development and maybe even potentially develops like some type of backbone for herself. Oh, I just hope Mikan survives. That's literally one of the main things I want from this remake. If above nothing else, I hope Mikan survives. Like, dead serious. Another thing my bro just brought up is Hajime could actually be closer to the cast, because in the thumbnail it actually shows that him and Nagito are actually just standing around actually looking at the island, and it actually is a clip in the video as well. But so Nagito could actually hold in this act a little longer, because we all know how batshit crazy he is and how that kind of triggered in chapter 1. So maybe what if, say, like in chapter 3, that's when he starts to show himself, like, actually. So maybe Nagito could actually be like how Kyoko was to Makoto, because we actually know Nagito is pretty smart behind all the insane, crazy, batshit, yada 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 stuff that he's known for, you know what I mean? Honestly, I really don't have much more to say on this, because like I have like no more like things to think about. Like I have no more thoughts in my head right now. But yeah, so I guess that's just like kind of some things off the top of my head that I actually want to discuss and maybe like kind of see how they could, you know, play out, or maybe just, you know, kind of brainstorm. Look, okay, so yeah, I'm like, as you know, I'm super hyped for this, and I cannot wait for 2026 to drop this, because I'm pre-ordering this. I'm pre-ordering this the moment they say it's out for pre-order. Like, deadass, I might have to get an Ultimate Edition if it's worth it. Maybe even if it's not worth it, I might still get it, because, as you know, I'm a huge Dangan dude, bro. So like, ooh, I'm just so hyped, man. And my boy Prime Sheem is hyped too, because like I said, we're in a call right now, and we were actually discussing some stuff, and he didn't actually even know that new killers, new victims, new tricks. So that actually even got him more hyped than he initially was, which obviously got me more hyped. And it's just like, so yeah, just expect a playthrough of this reboot Dangan 2, a joint playthrough with me and my boy Prime Sheem, hopefully. Even if not, I'll do a playthrough. But you know, he said he's gonna join me, and I have no doubt he will, because like I said, he's hyped as well. But just expect a playthrough, okay? Regardless. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to see more from me. And obviously expect more Dangan content down the line, because I mean, shoot, I've been making Dangan content for a while now, and with this new, you know, this new game, you already know Dangan content is probably gonna skyrocket a bit, and you know, I'm gonna have to hop on that train wreck. So you know, just expect more Dangan content. You know, yada yada yada. I'll do it when I can obviously do it, obviously. But with all that out the way, I got one more thing to say. Peace, guys.